Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Victoria Camille, Police Commissioner for District 7. Welcome to the Board of Police Commissioners meeting. We are still waiting for additional commissioners to arrive, including our chair and vice chair. So we can call the meeting to order and start with the invocation.
Father God, we want to take the time out to pause and just pray for unity right now. I ask that all hearts and all minds be clear. Father God, we declare and decree that, Father God, you are not a spirit of confusion, that your word has never came back void, that your word is spirit and truth. Father God, we declare and decree that there is no big I, there is no little you in this room. We pray for a spirit of love right now, Father God. We pray for a spirit of understanding. For we know that, Father God, that with love, Father God, we're able to conquer and move mountains. So therefore, Father God, we want to just take the time out to pray for a spirit of excellence, let you know that you are welcome in this room, and we hold you to your word, knowing that it is a spirit and truth. It is in our Father's name that we touch and agree and pray and say amen.
Amen. Excuse me.
Thank you for the invocation.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Madam Parliamentarian, I know we've just opened up the meeting.
I'm sorry, sir, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Madam Parliamentarian, I know we just opened up the meeting. Is it okay if we move into the oral communications and public comments?
That's what I just told her.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, absolutely. So as we wait to gather a quorum, we can move on to public comments. Janya, who do we have on?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our first speaker will be Lieutenant Mark Young.
Good evening. Commissioner Miller, embarrassment, bias, bully, personal agenda, and lack of due process. This is the very code, policy, procedures, and laws you expect us to uphold. You hold us accountable for them. Your actions incited domestic terrorism, actions that violated the very policy that you hold us to. Your actions that day violated something that the very board approved, but in my wisdom and my intellect tells me that officer safety is not important, and that's not on the agenda. Only the ridicule officers and the persecute officers. I have never been so damn angry in all my life. We work hard to build the relationship with this community, and it has not been easy. The very same people that we risk and give and sacrifice our lives for don't always appreciate us, but we show up anyway. To speak and incite and encourage violence against anyone is criminal, especially against a person that will give so much to the city. This was not only an embarrassment to this board, it was an act of biasness that's unspeakable. I will be working to have the BOPC recused from any decision-making that affects my members effective immediately by way of injunction and possibly a court order. When you call yourself oversight and you walk in the room with judgment without due process, that is criminal. And you're not worthy to sit in oversight of the men and women that give so much. Outside this very wall is people that gave their very lives for people that didn't appreciate them. Maybe you should look at the wall when you walk in this room.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. We have I apologize for the delay in starting or in being here to start the meeting on time. We do have a quorum, so I'm going to ask for to call the meeting to order and to ask for our invocation, please.
We've had the invocation.
Oh, you had it, okay. We've had the roll call then?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then I ask for the roll call.
Commissioner DeWalsh,
Present?
Commissioner Woods,
Present.
Commissioner Bowman,
Present.
Commissioner Camille,
Present.
Commissioner Carter is running behind due to weather, Commissioner Ivy is also en route. Commissioner Jones,
Present.
Commissioner Morris,
Present.
Commissioner Watts,
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Present.
8 present, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to ask for approval of the January 15th agenda. I'm sorry, wait a minute, just before we do that.
Okay.
Is this where I need to ask for the, no, not at this point, okay.
Not yet, Madam Chair.
Approval of the agenda, please.
So move.
Support, Madam
It's been
Chair.
moved by Commissioner Woods.
I'm
and-
sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Madam Secretary.
I am so sorry. You are correct, Madam Chair?
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to skip that and go to approval of the minutes for January 8th, 2026.
Well,
Madam Chair.
Okay,
if I
yes,
may,
Madam Parliamentarian.
The
I got it, I got it.
Okay.
If I may, Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda. Is that correct?
No, sir.
Madam Parliamentary?
Maybe, Madam Parliamentarian, Madam Chair is to indicate her amendment without objection, and if there is no objection, we'll move forward.
Commissioner Woods, you're not wrong.
Okay,
Just that it's not necessary.
Okay.
Unless there's an objection.
all right, thank you.
So what the chair can do at this point is ask permission to amend the agenda by adding what it is to be added. And if there's no objection, then it's added automatically.
Okay,
Okay, so then I can ask, if there is no opposition, I would like to entertain a motion to amend the agenda to move item 8A, motion in support of the reappointment of Chief of Police Todd A. Bettison prior to the Chief of Police report.
Support.
Okay, so it has been moved by Commissioner Watts, supported by Commissioner Jones. Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, approval of the minutes of January 8th,
Madam
2020.
Chair?
Yes,
You now need to approve the agenda as amended.
okay. So now I'll need a second motion to approve the agenda for January 15th as amended.
so move.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Woods, seconded by Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. Now, I'd like to ask for approval of the minutes for January 8th meeting.
So move, Madam Chair.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Jones,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Woods. Any discussion?
Discussion, Madam Chair.
Yes. Commissioner Camille?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Has there been a change in how the outcomes of motions are displayed on the minutes? It used to reflect which commissioners voted yes and which voted no when the outcome was not unanimous. I don't see that on these minutes. Was there a change in process?
I'm not aware of any change, Madam Secretary.
No, if there is an error, there should have been one action item where there were two, I believe, last meeting, 2 nay votes. Are we referring to that?
Through the chair, yes, I believe that's item 12A. No, not 12A, I'm sorry. 13A, where there was 2 nay votes, and that's not reflected here.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
were these roll call votes?
I'm sorry, we need a roll call vote?
No.
They were not.
If these motions were not roll call votes.
Okay.
Then the names would not be listed.
Okay.
The names
right.
would only be listed for roll call vote.
Thank you.
Any other question? Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, I believe we were
Approval of the minutes.
approval of the minutes for January 8th. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And now, approval of the closed session minutes for December 18th regarding Eric Hollis. Is there a motion?
So move.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Wood, supported by Commissioner Jones. Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have approval of closed session minutes for December 18th, regarding Colton Allen. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Wood, supported by Commissioner Jones. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. At this time, thank you for approving those minutes. At this time, we'll have the introduction of BOPC staff, police personnel, representatives, and community leaders by the secretary.
Madam Chair, through the chair, present at this time are members of the BOPC admin staff, Drew Freeze, Felicia Tyson, Mary Barber, Janya Underwood, Armani Arnold, Artemisia Joshua, are all present. Chief Warfield, Corporate Counsel Conrad Mallett, also our parliamentarian, Dr. Francis Jackson. Our interpreters today are Stephanie Beatty and, is that Rick? Would you pronounce the last name? Ainsworth. Also, our audiovisual media services court reporter, Don Handyside. Also, I believe, Freja Butler from 2nd Precinct, and also Ron Thomas of DPOA, Lieutenant and Sergeants, President as well, present. I don't have any other registrations at this time, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. And now, under my report, we've moved to the item 8 under new business, which was the motion to support the reappointment of Chief of Police Todd A. Bettison up to my,
Madam Chair, your
Yes.
report comes before that.
I have no report.
It says the resolution, that's.
Oh, okay, then we do have a resolution, so that has to come first. I
Yeah.
thought the motion was before my report.
I thought it was before the chief of police report. Am I in error?
Madam Secretary, is it
Was the
before
motion
my
before
report?
the chief
Okay,
of
you're
police report?
You're right, before the
So
chief
your
of police
report
report.
comes in
All
the
right, so
resolution.
we do have one item prior to the chief of police report, and that is a resolution honoring police officer Tillman Blair posthumously. And I'd like to ask Commissioner Woods if he would read the resolution.
Absolutely. If it's okay, I'll read the first clause and the last clause.
Yes.
Whereas from an early age, Tillman Blair made a personal commitment to serving the community and becoming a police officer. His dedication led him to join the Detroit Metropolitan Police Academy on August 14, 1967. Upon graduation, Police Officer Blair was appointed to the Detroit Police Department on October the 21st, 1967, and assigned to the 13th Precinct. Therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Police Commissioners awards this resolution posthumously in honor of retired police officer Tillman Blair for his lasting impact on Detroit and residents during 58 years with the Detroit Police Department. His passionate dedication to law enforcement and his many contributions to public safety for Detroit residents merit our highest regards. I move for approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Wood, supported by Commissioner Jones. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, I'd like to, if there is no objection, I'd like a motion in support of the reappointment of Chief of Police Todd A. Bettison.
I will make a motion for the reappointment of Todd A. Bettison for the Chief of Police.
Second.
Go ahead. Did you have, I'm sorry, okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Wood, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. Is there discussion?
I would like to say that the chief of police is continuing to be under a contract. That is, he's been doing a phenomenal job in bringing crime down in the city of Detroit. He has been community driven, and he's considered in this community as the people's chief. And so I'm very, very happy to see him continue in his contract and to be able to do the work for the citizens of the city of Detroit.
And Madam,
Thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner Jones.
I just wanted to echo the comments that have been made by, Vice President Darrell Woods.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Williams and then Commissioner Watts.
Yeah, I just want to say the same about the chief. Even long before joining the board, meeting the chief, he has accepted me for the person that I am and never passed judgment on me. Has been a great friend, and outside of being a great friend, just the things that he has done in the community. And as you see, he's always in front of the community, talking with the community. So I definitely want to see the chief, be here, because he's done just what Darrell Woods said. Commissioner, a phenomenal job. I support him.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Watts?
Yes, I just want to echo the same sentiments that was already stated. I want to thank you, Chief. Having known you over the many years, one thing about it, we may not always agree, but at least you're honest, you're transparent, and you're fair. I just want to say continue doing a good job and always keep the community engaged. It's a two-tier partnership, along with the team that you have, your men and women phenomenal on the force. So thank you for your service.
Thank you. Any further, Commissioner Bowman?
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to comment how I used to be a regular attendee of the 5th Precinct Community Relations Council, and at those meetings, now Chief Bettison at the time was really in charge of community relations, and he did an excellent job of bringing a friendly face forward to the community and giving people a positive experience interacting with them, being being a good listener. And since becoming chief in that short time, I think he's actually shown that he can also have a firm hand and hold officers accountable when necessary. So overall, he is definitely carrying out some of the best policies of his predecessors. So I support this return.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments or questions? I would just like to add, and I've known the chief for decades. I remember back in, 20-something years ago when Sarah Metro, our workforce development organization, worked with the chief on youth empowerment. We had some youth programs. It was probably the Explorer programs and others. And you were very involved with our community back then, and throughout the years that I've known you, you've kept community engagement as a priority, and I think that's why we're so successful as a department, so thank you for that. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, the motion carries. Thank you so much. And now, Chief, we're gonna go to the chief's report.
Well, first I want to, through the chair, thank the board for the opportunity to continue to serve. It's very, very special. City of Detroit, greatest city in the country, nation, and I would also say the world. Motor City, we're definitely on the move. We get it done, and we get it done together. I'll start out with my report when it comes to the overview of crime for the week. And so this is as of today compared to last year at the same point in time. So criminal homicides, we've had 4 this year thus far, and last year at the same period in time, we had 4. So it's a 0% when it comes to changes. Sexual assaults, currently we're sitting at 16 compared to 13 last year. So any change in numbers right now will make the percentage swing pretty wild, and so therefore it's a 23% uptick or increase when it comes to sexual assault. Aggravated assault, 4.5% increase. And so an aggravated assault is an assault where someone uses a weapon or threat of a weapon. So just wanted to really break that down. It's been 349 a year to date, and compared to 334 last year. Robbery, 33 compared to 37, which is a 10.8% reduction. Burglary, we're sitting at a 34% reduction. Larceny, which is where someone steals something from you, not by force, but larceny, we're at 17% reduction. Motor vehicle theft, something that we all want to continue to go down. We're down 101 compared to last year, so that's at a 43% reduction. And non-fatal shootings, a 23% reduction. And carjackings, we're sitting at an 80% reduction. What does that look like when you do it by stats? In 2025, last year, this time we had 5 carjackings. This year, thus far, we've only had 1 carjacking. So that just gives you a breakdown of where we are as we go forth. We will continue to do everything that we can to reduce, and to the victims of those crimes, we'll be working relentlessly to solve those as well. Earlier this week, because the month of January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, I held a joint press conference with the mayor and other community partners. Councilmember Angela Callaway Whitfield was in front of the Crystal Motel right there at Greenfield and 8 Mile. And so an ordinance has been passed where they have to have signage to make individuals in the hotels alert that it is opportunity and help for them. So all the hotels have to placard the City of Detroit Human Awareness sign in the motels, hotels, and related type businesses. And so we placard it there. And also we are, our vice unit is working diligently as well, because big events tend to bring individuals from outside of our community here, and it's an uptick in sex trafficking during things like the auto show, and whether it be the NFL draft or any large scale events. And so our vice unit is working to identify activities that's taking place like that via online, on street, et cetera. Traffic enforcement is always a major concern, and so individuals speeding, accidents. We have quite a few accidents weekly in the city. So I get an accident report, and I'll make sure I start updating the community regarding the number of accidents that we actually have in the city. But roughly we have over 1,000 accidents, not serious accidents, but accidents of some sort. And so thus the need for traffic enforcement. So last week we conducted a total of 330 traffic stops, a total of 776 tickets, moving violations were written, 93 tickets for speeding. Enforcement took place in the 7th, 8th, 10th, 12th precincts. Over the last 3 weeks, our narcotics unit executed several search warrants. Officers made 3 felony arrests, 11 misdemeanor arrests, recovered amounts of cocaine, fentanyl, marijuana, and pills off the street. Commissioner Woods, you did ask last week how many lives have been saved as a result of officers administering Narcan. I'm going to work to see actually on the back end, and I'm working through Dr. Dunn with the fire department, where he's reaching out to the hospital staff to see if the life was actually saved. But I can tell you that over the year 2025, that there were 143 incidents where Detroit police officers administered Narcan prior to EMS arriving. So can't say that all of them survived, but I do have that data right here, and we'll be able to continuously update the board as well. We continue with our critical conversations. On Friday, January the 23rd, the Detroit Police Department will be hosting a fair for community members who are in search of services related to special needs, mental health, physical services, intellectual disabilities. And the fair will be held right here in front of the police headquarters, public safety headquarters. And we will have activities right here in this room as well. And the parking lot area will be closed, and we'll have all types of activities for individuals from the community. Another thing that I would make you aware of as well is yesterday We did have a in-custody death at the Detroit Detention Center. And so a male gentleman in our custody for a larceny during our rounds was discovered unconscious, later determined to be deceased. And thus far, it appears through all indications that it was a natural cause death. But of course, we have our investigators there, and we'll have to wait the results of the autopsy. And because of HIPAA and other medical type related issues, I don't want to speak as to what his overall physical condition was at this time. But I would be able to make the this board give you a thorough briefing. But I just want to make sure I'm in compliance with HIPAA. And that concludes my report at this time.
Thank you, Chief. Before I go to questions, I just want the record to reflect that Commissioner Ivey has joined us. Are there any questions for the chief?
Yeah, through the chair, yes.
Commissioner Williams?
I have a couple questions for the chief, not relating to this, so I'm hoping that this is the proper place for me to ask this question. Tuesday, Brother Cunningham, he's an advocate for public transportation. He was assaulted down at the transit center. I'm not sure if you're aware of that or not. My question to you, and it's a two-part question from two different citizens, but I'm trying to combine them together because it all consists of Tuesday. What is the typical response time, and are there officers that's sitting at the transit center? I asked that question because Mr. Cunningham called me after waiting for a period of time. No police responded. He was lucky enough to be in a vehicle where he found an officer, but then another citizen still Tuesday, seeing that the president was here and a lot of resources from the citizens, they feel a lot of resources was targeted towards the president. How do you compensate the resources that's used for the president while still serving the citizens, making sure that there's enough manpower and police presence for them so they won't feel as if they're pushed to the side?
Through the chair, Commissioner Williams, that's an excellent question right there. With the specifics with Brother Cunningham, I don't know if I have Commander Fugenzi in the audience, but Commander Fugenzi, who's over the 3rd precinct, and typically we do have a transit unit, and so I would say 98% out of the time, there is a DPD unit sitting at Jason Hargrove Transit Center, and then also at the Rosa Parks Transit Center. So I don't know exactly where they were, but those units are dedicated to the transit center. So, and then also doing bus boardings, et cetera. So we've dedicated resources there. I'll have to look into the particulars to see exactly where that asset was. I don't know if it was shift change or exactly, but Commander Fugenzi, maybe you can shed some light on it.
Yes, Chief, and through the chair, good afternoon. The Rosa Parks Transit Station, we staff that 24/7, 365. So on each shift, we dedicate a resource to Rosa Parks. Now, this particular incident, I don't have the information in front of me of what exactly occurred, and I can give a follow-up report to the board. But regardless of an event coming into the town, anything around the city, we staff Rosa Parks, we staff this city appropriately, and we do staff it at all times at Rosa Parks. But I'll find out what happened with this particular incident as well.
Okay, thanks. I just, if one of the resident citizens approach me with something, I do want to be able to give them an answer in a timely manner. So that's why I brought that up and asked that question.
And through the chair, Commissioner Williams, one of the things that when the president comes to town, regardless of what president it is, we're notified often at the last minute. And so we don't have a lot of lead time, but all cities have to be able to provide various assets for the motorcade to ensure the overall safety. We shut down the overpass for the bridge so that as the motorcade is going over, nobody can occupy that, and then that does take resources. But in order to ensure that resources are still available for a response within the neighborhoods and throughout the city, if if there's a shortage, then we hold individuals over. And so it could be forced overtime, et cetera. When we have enough lead time, then we'll staff up and we'll just pay overtime so that we can have officers come in on their off day, et cetera. So those are some of the things that we do. And for large scale events, when we know that's coming, we actually cancel leave days and things of that nature so that all department members have to work. And we do things like that for the fireworks, and we do things like that for Thanksgiving Day parade, et cetera. But there are some events where we will cancel leave days, which we did for the NFL draft. And then we also, it's not just the Detroit Police Department that provides resources for the motorcade, so it's not just pulling on us. We also partner with the Michigan State Police and also the Wayne County Sheriff, so that it's not so much of a drain on us. So.
Thank you. Any other questions, Commissioner Watts?
Yes, Madam Chair. To the chief, on that point, just a quick question. What's the average response time, or does it vary?
It does. It can be, but I will show that to you. I will pull that up and let you know exactly what that was for last week. So for priority 1, where it's life-threatening, an imminent source of danger, for the prior week, our response time was 10 minutes and 36 seconds. And so you would say, well, every department does not measure response time the same. So when you look for a national standard, some departments will say, well, our response time is like 2 or 3 minutes. And you would say, well, wow. But the issue is they will measure what's called travel time. We measure our response time from the citizen's point of view. So from the time you call 911 and you're on the phone to the time the actual officer gets to you and you can see them, that is our response time. If we measure, like some departments do, travel time or other different sections within the breakdown, or when the actual call is dispatched from the 911 call taker to the officer, and once the officer in the car gets it, and then they travel there, that's travel time. That could be like 2 or 3 minutes. But the time that is sitting in queue where the dispatcher is, where the call taker is looking for a unit to dispatch it to, it could sit in queue for 6 minutes. And so our whole totality of our response time, on average, it could vary, but we're right there at between 11, 10, 12 minutes. And it can vary from day to day depending on what's going on as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that because that gives an accurate picture, accurate time.
Yes.
Thank you. And if I may, just for the benefit of the new commissioners, the chief provides us a report every week, about 20-something pages. I try to go through every page, Chief, but there is a page there that is called Daily Response Time Report. It's the 3rd page in the report, and it breaks it down by precinct. So it's very, very detailed, and I know the new commissioners, it's going to take a while to get through all the pages, but that, since you asked that question, it is there for your benefit.
Thank you for that, Madam Chair. I just sometimes it's like why we have the chief here, because again, it may be in the report, but then you want to make sure, like he said, it gives an accurate picture and it explains it. So that's very helpful.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any other commissioners have questions or comments? Commissioner Bowman, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question regarding, well, effectively it's about us being informed, but there is the city council, not this week, but last week, paid out $500,000 in a settlement with Manfred Brandenburger, and it didn't specify, but it was regarding some interaction with police, and it didn't specify what the circumstances were, and I was wondering if the board could get that information.
I will, through the chair, if that question is directed at me, I'm going to turn it over to Corp Counsel.
Through the chair, yeah, Commissioner, we'll be glad to get you that information.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have several items for the chief. And Chief, congratulations on your continued appointment. look forward to continuing to work with you to make sure we have accountability and transparency in the department. So the first item is more of an update on a conversation that occurred this week. And I would like to summarize for the other commissioners as well as the staff and the public the current understanding between DPD and the Board of Police Commissioners regarding OCI's access to body-worn camera footage and related reports for their investigations, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Okay. So at this time, OCI staff by default has access to body-worn camera footage and related reports to conduct their investigations. If the Internal Affairs Department launches an investigation that's considered sensitive, for example, if an officer-involved shooting occurred or if the case involves a high-profile individual, then the lieutenants in Internal Affairs will lock that video and the related reports so that they can only be viewed by the minimum necessary Internal Affairs staff responsible for conducting that investigation. And Commander McGinnis is made aware by those lieutenants and has oversight of those decisions. Normally, OCI is not investigating a case concurrently with Internal Affairs and normally would not need access to video and reports while Internal Affairs is conducting their investigations. However, in the rare exception that the BOPC is asking that OCI conduct a policy review of an incident, one or more of the commissioners that are championing the matter will liaison with the chief to come to an arrangement to allow OCI to conduct that policy review while ensuring the strict confidentiality of the video and the report content. I would just like to thank the chief for his trust in this body and willingness to keep that option open for us. And if there was anything I missed from that conversation, feel free to fill that in.
Your summation of it is spot on, and when there are those opportunities, we will definitely ensure that concurrently we're working with the board after having a conversation with any commissioner and being able to ensure that you have access to what you need to have access to when it comes to body-worn camera so that your investigators can complete their portion of the investigation when it comes to policy.
Thank you.
Go ahead. You have more comments?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Just two questions for the chief as well. So at the November 5th Policy Committee meeting, Vice Chair Woods actually requested a gas station audit to be conducted. And I know DC Parrish took that back and was taking it to the Civil Rights Division to look into that, to complete that audit and then have it reviewed by OCI. Is it possible for us to get a status on that audit?
Yeah, absolutely. So Deputy Chief Parrish is here, and I would just ask him to come to the microphone, the podium, and give an update.
Thank you, Chief, and through the chair to the rest of the board. Yes, that audit was completed. I'll summarize the results and invite a meeting with the board and OCI if they'd like to discuss methodology or any other aspects of the audit. So the audit was conducted, and of the audit sampling, 93.21% were determined by the Civil Rights Division as finding no issues within the stops. In the remaining numbers, there were concerns regarding the in-car video and or the body-worn camera usage due to some limitation or some issue. An appropriate review was not able to be done. There was one verified case where an officer did conduct a search based on the smell of burnt marijuana, which, as this board likely knows, the Michigan Supreme Court has said is no longer a lawful basis to search a vehicle. So again, this is at a very high level summation. We're happy to meet with the board and discuss any other aspects of the audit at the board's pleasure.
Thank you. Commissioner Camille?
Thank you, DC Parrish, for that update, and look forward to a meeting to discuss the details of that further.
Absolutely.
And you had a second question?
I do,
Yes.
Madam Chair. Thank you.
DC.
Through the chair. So, Chief, you also received a memo from Councilmember Gabriela Santiago Romero regarding ICE and some questions and requests for data around that. Once you've completed that and have her answers ready, can the board also please receive a copy of those answers?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the same time that I send her the response, and I have a due date where it'll come to me for review on January the 21st. And after we pull everything together, I'll make sure that she gets her written response And as it's going to her, it's going to be sent to the board as well. So you both will get it at the same time.
Thank you. And Madam Chair, just related to that as well, and thank you, looking forward to those responses, Chief. So related to that, I know you've said multiple times that DPD doesn't collaborate with ICE. That's been a large concern in the communities. How can we take a deeper look to make sure that DPD is not passively or unknowingly assisting ICE through technology? So specifically, I'd like to explore some type of audit across all the law enforcement and surveillance technologies to identify any and all points of entry that ICE may have to leverage DPD data to conduct immigration enforcement. Is that possible?
Yeah, I welcome that. We're not sharing data. They're not using our facilities. And so I've said it numerous times into the community that the department is focused on our local ordinances and state laws when it comes to customs immigration type enforcement. We don't do that. And so our policies, our rules, our procedures are clear. And the only way that we have any relationship at all is when it comes to the aspect of all arrestees. When you're arrested, taken to the DDC, your information is entered into our law enforcement information system network. And from there, if someone is wanted, it could be an American citizen, someone could be wanted out of Tennessee, et cetera. I'll just use that as an example. We will become aware of it, and after we process, and I'm using an American, a United States citizen right now as an example, after we process them for the crimes that they committed here, then we would turn them over to another state. If it's a person that's undocumented and it's a detainer in the system, we wouldn't notify ICE. ICE would be able to see it on their own, and they would notify us, and they would have to present a judicial detainer for us to possibly hold them up to no more than 72 hours, because under no circumstances will we hold the individual in our Detroit detention center more than 72 hours.
Any other questions?
That's it. Thank you, Madam
Thank
Chair.
you. Any, Commissioner Bowen?
Yes, I wanted to go back to that tragedy that happened where someone died, and I understand I'm not asking for medical information. That's something I understand is confidential and also not necessarily known at this time. But what I am going to ask about is procedure. How would a person at the facility where this person passed, how well is it monitored? In other words, how soon after someone would pass, or how soon after someone shows symptoms that shows that the person may be mortally ill, would the staff be able to respond?
Through the chair, that's an excellent question as well. What I will say is, upon arrest, the individual did present some health problems, and as a result, our officers, in alignment with our policies and procedures through medical screening, et cetera, and doing what we're supposed to do, the individual was taken to the hospital, evaluated, and ultimately released back into the custody of the Detroit Police Department. And so in regards to monitoring, the officers, staff at the DDC, they do 30-minute checks. So they're going by the cells every 30 minutes to check on the overall well-being. So I do have a detailed report right here, Commissioner Bowman, that shows me all of the checks, and it's just numerous checks while they were in our custody. It looked like they were in our custody approximately like 8 hours or something to that effect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for the chief? All right, hearing none. Thank you so much for your report, Chief.
Yes.
At this time, we'll go back to oral communications. Could we have our first speaker, or?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 17 speakers today. And our next speaker will be, and please, when you come to the mic, state your name for the record. Noel Ballinger.
Hello, Commissioners. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Noelle. I'm with the Detroit People's Assembly. I'm also a resident of District 6. Yesterday morning, our ICE Watch volunteers, a part of the People's Assembly, responded to concerns of potential ICE presence from around Beechwood and Maplewood Street, some miles west of Midtown. When a few of us arrived on the scene, we saw that the road was blocked off by law enforcement vehicles, including DPD and the FBI. One Border Patrol agent was there, identified only by his green vest and face mask. He refused to identify himself or give a cell number. One of the DPD officers also asked one of our responders if they were okay, saying, "You don't see many white people around here," and making them very uncomfortable. When we asked about the situation, we were told that law enforcement was there for a predator sex trafficking sting operation, so we hung back and just observed as to not interfere. Yet we were wary because if this were true, why was Border Patrol there? Was this an ICE raid in disguise? As we further observed the scene, DPD and the FBI later changed their story, saying that they were responding to a narcotics situation. We understand that law enforcement may have no obligation to tell us what they were doing at a scene or why, but we're here now to demand some transparency. Why was there such heavy law enforcement presence in this neighborhood, and why did the story switch up? And most of all, why was Border Patrol present, especially if there is no collaboration between DPD and ICE? So we, the People's Assembly of Detroit, we demand that the Detroit Police Department answer all of these questions that was submitted by Councilmember Gabriela Santiago Romero regarding any and all collaboration and cooperation with ICE. And furthermore, I hope everyone here in this room would join us in saying that we don't want ICE in Detroit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next three speakers will be Jimmy McCarroll, Celeste, and Ms. Williams.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This happened about a year and a half ago.
Please say your name for the record, please.
Jimmy McCarroll.
Okay, thank you.
My home was raided on the 13th of February 2024. They pulled me out in my pajamas. It was snowing outside. It was cold. They towed my house, damaged it completely. When I went to the precinct to file a complaint, because they didn't give me a warrant or anything, I got served my warrant in the office doing the complaint, and it's on body cam. I've been requesting FOIA to give me the footage from the Detroit Police Department. The state police also came in. They denied my request for the footage. I need that. I'm trying to get forward past this. They took my weapons. I've been trying to get them back. I've been getting the runarounds. Her name is Miss Capone, OSC or OCI.
OCI.
Investigator. Been on the phone with her several times. It's pushing the 2-year mark. I just want my weapons back and some solution to the damage that they did. Because when I got served, I should have got served at home, not at the precinct. And it's on body cam. Been waiting on it for almost 2 years now, so. Can I get an end game to this?
Chief, did you raise your hand?
Yeah, through the chair, I need one of my staff members to get his information so that we can follow up and look into it. This is the first time that I'm becoming aware of it, but we will get you some answers, sir, and we'll update the board as far as what the resolution is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
yes.
Commissioner Woods?
Yeah, hold on, young sir.
Just wait 1 second.
Hold on. Do we have anything on file for him?
Through the chair, his case is under investigation and is assigned to an investigator at this time and is currently under investigation.
Okay, and can we get someone from OCI to update him and when he gets back to receive a response?
Through the chair, we'll make sure that happens.
All right.
Thank you. Any other comments?
for
Thank you,
coming.
sir. Next speaker.
Ms. Celeste? Salisa, I apologize. And please state your name at the mic for the record.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Salisa, and I'm here
Please,
today.
please move the speaker closer. Yes, thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
My name is Salisa, and I'm here today as a Detroit resident. I am not a client of any program, and I do not waive my rights or status as a private citizen. I am placing on public record today that I have experienced repeated procedural irregularities involving authority and communications from individuals acting under the color of policy. I have requested written clarification, policy citations, and documentations regarding mandatory meetings, definition, and consequences. To date, none of those requests have been answered. I am asking the board to ensure that any directives issued to a resident is supported by written policy, proper notice, and lawful authority. Transparency is not an option. It's a safeguard for both residents and institutions. So today, I am requesting that the BOPC and OCI and Internal Affairs acknowledge and respond to my written transparency request so that the record is complete, accurate, and compliant with due process. I am here today to observe, to document, and to ensure that residents' rights are respected. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Ms. Brown, Beth Powder, and Ms. Butler. I'm sorry, Ms. Williams. Oh, I'm good. Ms. Williams, and then Beth Powder and Vidia Butler.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
This is not for you, Chief. I've been coming here to be 3 years, but like I said, I've been speaking about ex-offenders on the Detroit Police Department. And I'm happy that the commander is here from the 3rd Precinct. How many times have I been spoken about the Terrence Howard lookalike coming to all these people that's on the Detroit Police Department stay there, and some of them are ex-offenders. But the problem is, like I said Tuesday at the city council meeting, it's like lead by example. How you gonna give an ex-offender a gun and a badge, killers, rapists, murderers, sick, sadistic people, and it's unbelievable because there are green lights everywhere. And prior, when Chief White said, we see everything, so you all took over transit, they on the bus, they parking and going in the cemetery, they disrespecting dead people at the cemetery, Woodline Cemetery, they going to the 12. Both Myers, green lights. I was at Durfee, junior high school. Yes, and they got the green light. They cut it off. They was like, oh, Miss Williams here. Because this is what they do. How is it possible that they even got on the force if you guys had complied by the law? Background checks, fingerprints, medical history, psych evaluations, credit reports, friend of the courts? Come on now. Shop records. Because when they get released, they got to get tested to see what they have when they come back out here in population. So I don't care what name they came up with. They still ex-offenders on the Detroit Police Department with fake names. That's the bottom line.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, good afternoon. My name
Good
is
afternoon.
My name is Beth Powder, and I'm the white girl from the patrols yesterday. I have really dumb luck because I just started a job this week that was supposed to start last week, and I wasn't even supposed to be available to be an observer yesterday. And also, what had happened was when the police officer drove up to me and started telling me that we don't see white people in this neighborhood, what are you doing here? I didn't realize it, but my phone was recording. So if anybody would like it, I will email you a 3-minute and 30-second conversation where he said many, many things to me that I do not believe are true. And just a quick moment on my background. I am a sexual assault and domestic abuse prevention and intervention expert, and it is work that I do, and it used to be my job. And one of the things I do is I work with human trafficking victims. And this police officer told me about the cars that we saw that we thought were ICE vehicles, that they were FBI, and we later saw people get out of these vehicles who were involved in abductions of community members, and they were also on the same streets today, also conducting abductions of our neighbors and community members. And I'm from D2, but I'm going to come and do this advocacy work. So when this officer said to me, this is a human trafficking CSAM FBI operation, there were many things that stood out to me that did not track with that. I'm sorry, I've run out of time, but it is clear to me that DPD is collaborating with ICE. They're using human trafficking as a cover. I find it deeply offensive. And if anybody would like me to email you any more information or this audio, please let me know and come find me. I'm happy to tell you more. Thank you for listening, and thank you for the extra 10 seconds.
Thank you. Chief, I thought I saw your hand go up.
Yep. Through the chair to Ms. Powder, you say you have video, and so I would love, after the meeting, you stay here, I would love to personally take a look at it. Our police officers are required to wear a body camera, and so I would love to see it because I'm just not aware of anything like that. We're not collaborating, but if you have proof, I would love to see it. So you're talking to the top cop right here for the city of Detroit. So I'll be right here after this meeting, and you can show me the video.
He had very recognizable tattoos. I only have video of my feet because, again, I didn't realize I was recording. And he was in a sedan, and I can point him out. I can tell you exactly who he was, but this police vehicle and the other police vehicle were on the scene later that day, and they were on the scene when people were being taken by Border Patrol.
Yep, by policy of the city of Detroit, the charter and the Board of Police Commissioners, our officers are required to have body-worn cameras. We have in-car video, and so we will pull that as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes,
Do you mind? Thank you so much. Because this is the second now comment we've had in regards to this incident, and this continues to come up. So, our Migra Watch and other Southwest community members and others have really done a phenomenal job to step up in a time when they're afraid. Like our communities are very much afraid, and when our legal systems and our public safety systems fail to keep our most vulnerable community members safe from now of this reckless agency, ICE, that has been coming into our communities, this is what we get. And they're very organized. They have been studying how ICE moves. They've been studying DPD. And I know, Chief, you've repeatedly said that DPD doesn't collaborate with ICE. But something is happening out in the street. Like, people are seeing DPD with some type of unmarked vehicles, uniforms that don't have clear identifiers, and these either is Border Patrol or ICE, or they believe that it's Border Patrol or ICE, and it's causing a lot of confusion. And I know DPD has a lot of work to do because the residents of Detroit expect you to address criminal matters in Detroit, and we don't want to hamper that. At the same time, there's a conflict between what's being said and what people are seeing. So we need to come together, I've seen some video myself where I'm looking like, what is this? This doesn't look right. So that we really need to schedule some type of sit down to get some understanding of what's happening, because people are deathly afraid in these times.
Thank you. Commissioner Woods?
Yeah, through the chair, I'll be interested in looking at the video with you, Chief, as well. She says she has video of a Detroit police officer doing that. Either she do or she don't. And if it is going to be what it is. If it's video, then it's video. If it's not, it's not. So I want to look at it, and then we can address it accordingly. I don't want us to be maligning the Detroit Police Department on false information, or it could if call them out when it's right. If the information is information, but we can't go on speculations and things of that nature. We have to have factual information to come before this body for us to take a look at it. And then I'm glad that you lifted up that we have a lot of work to do to bring healing in the city of Detroit among our citizens, because there's so much work and so much police work need to be done, and so many people have other complaints about other things too. So there's a holistic approach. So let's look at the evidence and take a look at it, and let the facts take us where they may.
Thank you. Any other commissioners' comments? Okay, hearing none. Yes, Commissioner Bowman.
Yeah, I had a question, and if I could direct it back to the chief, just because you might know the answer to this. It was something I was curious about, and I didn't bring it up, but now that we got on this topic of kind of the blurred lines that may exist at some point between the DPD and some federal organizations, I saw a khaki lightly armored vehicle. I think it was maybe some type of Humvee, with several individuals around it wearing khaki as well in the 5th Precinct parking lot. And it said police on the side, thinking, okay, it's a special force police vehicle, but then it also had DEA on the side on the same vehicle. And when I looked at the front, it had where a vanity plate would be. It looked like it was an actual plate, a federal government plate. So I'm a little confused by that. Are there vehicles that are jointly operated by federal and local agencies?
Through the chair, Commissioner Bowman, no, we don't operate the same equipment, and so I would say no to that. Also, Commissioner Woods, thank you for agreeing to look at the video with me as well. But just want to say that there are situations where we do have people, folks, et cetera, that will impersonate Detroit police officers. And so by looking at the video and then verifying also with our body-worn camera, our in-car camera, and then other assets, you have my commitment to do a deep dive, a thorough investigation to get to the actual facts. And so to the community that's out there, and I know it's fair, I've been on the southwest side of the city of Detroit and in other communities in the city that have an immigrant population. I even walked in the Cinco de Mayo parade to be able to symbolize that, no, we are here, I want you to come out, that the Detroit Police Department is completely different if you're a victim of a crime, regardless of your citizenship status. I want you to be able to feel free to come into a police precinct to let us know so that we can investigate and hold anybody accountable that's victimizing that community. So that's very important to me. I don't have control over the federal government agents and what they do, but I can't control what my officers do. And so just wanted to say that to the community, and that I welcome all who would have video or any other thing, because on social media, et cetera, these phones are walking recorders and they're HD now. They record very, very well. So, I mean, it's the best video ever. About 5, 6, 7 years ago, it didn't record so well. You couldn't tell if it was your mother being recorded. But now you can see everything and hear voices. And so this is what we need so that we can really get to the facts of it. So I encourage anybody that if they're seeing what they believe as a Detroit police officer, I know what their uniforms look like very, very well, et cetera, and we can verify who they are, where they are, and there's ways that we can tell if we were there. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Commissioner Watts?
Yeah, just a brief comment, and on that point, I believe Commissioner Bowman, I agree on that. When you're looking at it, and that's why it's so important, the federal government, and I know, Chief, you have no control over that, when they're coming into these communities and you're not having any coordination. First of all, I believe you shouldn't even be here, but then they should have coordination with the state and local level, because this is what you're going to find. When you're having, like we're average citizens, when you're looking out there, you don't know who is who. You're looking at some of the uniforms looking very, very the same, very similar, and this is what you're going to get when you have lack of coordination on the federal level, where they just barge in to our communities and take action and don't even coordinate with our local police, law enforcement. So I just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you. Any others? Commissioner Woods, go ahead.
Well, one more point is that, on yesterday, $2 billion was taken away from mental health and substance abuse on yesterday unilaterally. It was going to impact DWIN by $50 million and a lot of groups by the millions. There was a rapid response to legislatures in a bipartisan way. Never seen it happen before. The president reinstated those dollars. So we have some weighty issues. People do stuff unilaterally. This is a new day and that we living in, and so we appreciate citizens come sharing with us the information, because we're hit on all types of fronts right now. I'm telling you, $2 billion taken at a stroke of a pen. And it took a lot of heavy lifting, and thankful that a bipartisan group of legislatures was able to talk to the president to be able to get those dollars reinstated that same day, because it was a deep outcry, So I would say that if there's some of these things happening, too, on a federal level, which we have no authority over, do like I did and many others, reach out to your congressional leaders too, to be able to address some of these federal issues that we have no authority over.
Thank you. Commissioner Ivey?
I just want to piggyback. I would also like to have access to looking at that video as well, just to get a third pair of eyes and to know what to look for in my own community. So I would like to have that access as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go on to the next speaker, Ms. Butler.
Good afternoon. Wake up, sleeping giants. Do the people in Detroit matter? I have written several letters regarding ICE because of our leaders seem to have ignored what is happening in cities with black mayors with mostly black and brown people. I have asked several officers whether they have been addressed regarding ICE. The answer has always been no. They are advertising for people to join ICE. Congress has given billions of dollars, allowing the president to create a force larger than some countries' military defense departments. The pay is good and with minimum training. Who do you think will join masked men free to kick in doors, kill, and be unaccountable? No one will be safe. Highland Park has already rejected the idea of ICE seeking a place to house detainees. Hearing what is happening in other cities, should our leaders wait for the beast to come and surprise the unprepared people? I am telling our leaders I'm telling our leaders what I heard a mother tell her baby who has been diagnosed with cancer. Be brave, be courageous, and I am adding, be informed, lead, and speak to us. I write many letters, and Chief, I know who you are. You have done wonderful work. I've known you for years. I hope that you will have the support of the leaders, the governors and the senators. I don't hear them saying anything, and I'm sure our people don't hear anything either. I read a lot. I listen a lot. I listen to a lot of politicians. A lot of them are afraid, and a lot of us aren't doing what we should be doing. So,
thank you, ma'am.
I could write more, but I know I only have the 2 minutes to speak, so I have to write you personally.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Our next speaker is Mr. Smith, then Ms. Lanfair, and Benita Davis. Then we'll go into Zoom.
Jadante Smith for the record. I got a little audio I want to play from somebody sitting in the room. So you're talking about having evidence and things of that nature.
Hey, good morning, Conrad. How are you? Doing pretty good, man. So let me ask you 2 questions. One, how old are you? Under 30. What is the secret? How old are you? I'm almost 30. I'll be 30 in a couple days. Okay, all right. So you're almost 30. And are you gainfully employed?
So I got a full conversation with Conrad Mallett offering me a job with the city of Detroit, any department that I would like to work in. I'd like to work for any section of Detroit where I could make $80,000 with U.S. dollars for 25 hours a week for a part-time job. I work about 80 hours, I would say, in a week. Well, not necessarily in a week, but I work full-time helping citizens, responding. I literally drove somebody up here to get somebody out of jail because y'all arrested somebody for no reason. Slammed him on ice. I don't care. Slammed him on ice. Slammed him on ice and arrested him. Took him to the precinct. I don't care. Arrested him, slammed him on ice. I had to drive his fiance down here to get him out of jail. Couldn't get in touch with nobody. I had to come down here and wait. This lady make $80,000 on a part-time job. It's her second job. She makes $72,000 at her other job because she's friends with the chief. She's friends with Darrell Woods. Darrell Woods is in the article defending her. How much money do you make on the boards that you own? Huh? How much money do y'all make? And y'all passing around these salaries, trying to get Conrad Mallett to give me a job, and it's terrible. Even with the mayor. Like, I'm gonna make sure everything that's done in the dark comes to the light. I'm the right one to play with. Don't offer me no BS job and try to get me to work with y'all. I'm always with the residents. Especially, I got a $400 water bill. You know that, Conrad Mallett? And y'all refusing to wipe away my water bill, and it's not my fault. Because you think I'm gonna sue the city and I don't have to talk to anybody. You might have 8 brains, I got about 5. I'm always a couple steps ahead. You cannot beat me, you cannot buy me, you cannot best me. None of y'all. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Next speaker.
Hope it's funny. Hope it's funny. Your girl go to jail, it's gonna be more funny. You ain't gonna have no job.
You're out of order. Please.
Okay.
Go ahead, ma'am.
My name is Rella Landfair. I would like to be announced as Michael's mama. I've been here doing this almost 2 years in total now. Last week I was here. I explained to everyone kind of who was there last week what was going on. So a brief synopsis of what happened. February 24th, 2024, my son Michael had went missing. Myself, along with my family, assembled a team, and we canvassed the neighborhood. We actually found my son dead, deceased in the garage. So I'm here now because we talked about that last week, but I'd also like to talk about what is the reprimand when policies aren't followed? What happens? What happens when the police department isn't doing what they supposed to do by way of their protocol, procedures, and their policies? So I'd like to know that first off. I'd also like to know then now once I come to the Board of Commissioners and the OCIs and the other departments that I talked to and I made these complaints, What do you do when you're shifted around to so many different departments that you get caught up and lost in the sauce? No one's returning your call. They're all telling you that these things are being investigated, but they're not. What happens when the FOIA requests that you actually are allowed as a citizen to do? What happens when the FOIA requests aren't even considered? What happens when they don't respond to them within the time that they're supposed to be? What then happens when, now, as well as, sorry, is it the citizens' problem, or is it our job to make sure that you guys have adequate staffing? And I mean all of the elected officials or appointed officials. Because in the missing persons department, there was only 3 people working and 2 people supervising it. That means, how was y'all gonna find my baby? How was anybody gonna be found? I would just like to know some of these answers as to, like, really, like, if we're gonna change some things, let's change some things. And I don't mind, again, I got the backlash, right? I got the butt end of it all, you know? But if we're gonna move forward and so that another bereaved family member doesn't have to come up here and do this 2 years later, what can we do to really stay on top of this?
Thank you, ma'am. Your time is up.
No response.
Thank you. Is
no
there?
answers.
Go ahead, Commissioner Woods.
If I may, you know, did you, when you last week, the last time you was here, did you connect with someone from the department?
I spoke with Chief Bettison himself. He was the only one who kind of, well, you know, a couple of the officers, they kind of gave me their condolences and their sorries, but he was the only one that kind of, hey, I'll look into this, da-da-da-da-da. But I still really have no direction because these things I've already filed a complaint. I've already spoke with the investigator. I've already spoke to OCI. I've already wrote and certified letters to everybody who I could think of, and nothing's been done. I have no clear direction. Why, as a citizen, do I not have clear direction as to what to do when I'm feeling like I'm not getting the justice that is due to me?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. And is our investigation concluded with OCI?
Through the chair, the investigation is not concluded yet. However, and again through the chair, this is a criminal matter.
Right.
And as a result of it being a criminal matter, we're still doing our preliminary work on it. And again, it's going back over to IA due to the criminal nature of it, because our investigators are not trained in criminal matters, nor are we trained in understanding if a criminal investigation had followed certain steps or not.
Have that been explained to Michael's mom?
I can check with the investigator.
No.
I do not know.
I can tell you no.
Okay.
We will make sure that I will reach out to you.
Thank you.
We'll have a
I
discussion
appreciate
about
it.
that. Yes, ma'am.
And through
Thank
the
you,
chair,
Chief. Go ahead.
Yep. I made the commitment, and I did get a briefing from my command officers, but I made the commitment that I'm going to personally go through that
Thank
file.
you. I appreciate it.
I told you that it would, you know, I couldn't promise you exactly as to when, and it's
Absolutely.
been a lot this week. I am going to go through the file, and so you have my undivided attention. I looked at you, I have your information, and we will sit down, and I don't know what the results will be, but you got my commitment. And so, and I will keep you updated, and I will bring you into my conference room, and we're gonna go through everything.
Great. So again, I'm asking, what happens when we find, again, if you find in your investigation that your officers didn't do what they were supposed to do by policy, what do you do then? You suspend them?
It's progressive discipline, and so the board and others can tell you as well. So it's a whole host of things. It could be retraining. It's not always discipline, but sometimes it is discipline, and sometimes it is termination. So we hold folks accountable, and so nobody's above the law, et cetera, including me. I have to be held accountable, And when citizens break the law, they have to be held accountable. And when when officers do things to violate our policy, I hold them accountable as well. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, kind of.
Thank you,
and
ma'am.
through the
Go
chair,
ahead, Commissioner.
Can she be responded to within 24 hours? Yeah.
Thank you. Within 24 hours, madam. Okay, let the record reflect that Commissioner Carter has joined us. Next speaker, please.
Miss Bonita Davis.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bonita. I'm from the east side of Detroit, born and raised. I'm here to represent the Constitution and treaties, which all adults, including the people, because it's our document that we have to follow. There's an out of order on this land, starting with these unlawful these agencies. I want to talk about jurisdiction. Is there an attorney in the house? Can I get an attorney on the record? Where? Are you an attorney? Hi. I would like to, can I see your license to practice law?
Okay, madam, you speak through the chair, please.
I'm speaking to him.
Well,
let me tell you, this is the problem. This is why the Constitution is very important in the treaties.
Please,
No.
you don't have to raise
You don't.
your voice.
It's we the people.
You don't have to raise your voice if you want it to be recorded.
I'm talking to him. He is a man. Like I had to tell him last time. Men speak for themselves. Women speak for themselves.
Okay.
He don't need you.
You're not speaking into the microphone.
You out of order. I am speaking. Like I
Not
said, it's
into
a
the microphone.
constitutional. Can I see your license to practice law?
Speak to the chair.
This is a board meeting.
I'm talking to
Speak
him.
the board. No.
System
Speak to him outside if you want to speak to
deceased.
him.
You out of order.
Speak
You
to
in
him
contempt.
outside
You
if
are
you
out
want
of
to
order. You
speak
don't.
with
It's
them.
we the people. You work for a corporation.
Absolutely.
That's
We
why
all
the
wanna
Constitution
hear
is so
what you
important.
have to
Because people
say.
like you out of order.
We want
I'm
to
talking
hear what
this
you
man.
have to say.
He don't have a problem with me asking for his identification of practice law. Because according to the treaties in the Constitution, there's no license to govern equity.
Most of what you said is not going to be recorded.
It's recorded here, that's all.
Well, that's fine.
And,
Just speak to the
the
board,
fact that you
please.
said that it's not going to be recorded.
Because you're yelling and you're not
Because
speaking
you
in the
interrupted me
microphone.
when I asked this man to see
I
his
said
license
just
to
speak
practice
to the
life.
board,
And I
please.
was. And
No,
you
you
getting
weren't.
offended because I'm exposing you.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Again, may I please see your license?
Your time is up. Thank you.
No, that's unconstitutional because it says nowhere in the Constitution I have 2 minutes to readdress.
Thank you,
Next
Ms.
speaker,
Davis.
please.
Thank you, Ms. Davis.
So you
Next
I need an attorney.
speaker.
Thank
We
you,
talking
Ms.
about
Davis.
constitutional law.
Thank you, Ms.
We
Davis.
talking about treaty rights.
Please have a seat.
No, I'm not having. Listen, I'm not being disrespectful.
You are
but
being
we're adults in this
disrespectful.
room, and if you want us to follow the law, you got to follow the law.
You are being disrespectful to the whole room.
You know what? Thank you. Grow up. I mean, y'all went to school, right? The General Board of Education, right? You want us to be educated.
Next speaker, please.
We're going into Zoom.
You got people going to
Okay, Zoom.
Make that make sense.
Our
Let's
next
talk about the
speaker is
controversy.
Zoom user.
We're talking about law and order on the land. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Article 3, Section 2.
Go ahead, speaker.
We're talking about the law and order. Can't address the-
Zoom user, can you unmute? We'll go to the next. We'll go to the next speaker, former Commissioner William Davis.
Good afternoon. Can I be heard?
Yes, you may.
Okay, I'd like to start off by saying that I think more needs to be done as it relates to human trafficking in the city of Detroit, be it for whatever purposes. I know this is the season where it really teams up and a lot more is going on. I think more needs to be done as it relates to making sure more of our people, more of our citizens walking around are safer than what they have been and than what they currently are. Also, I would love to see somebody beat my record. I was on the Board of Police Commissioner 4 years ago, and I never missed a meeting. That would be good for someone to be able to do that. In fact, since I've been off the board for 4 years, I've never missed a meeting. I think we need to strive to improve and do better. Also, I keep hearing reports about young black men and young brown, Hispanic people being bum rushed by police at party stores and at gas stations, running up on them, patting them down, asking if they have any weapons and stuff. And I think they are stepping outside the scope of the authority just to blatantly pat down and look at black and brown people as if, by being black or brown, you're a criminal. I think a greater effort needs to be done to make sure it's easier for more people to see what the Board of Police Commissioners is doing. And I think also a greater effort needs to be done to reduce the number of lawsuits. Because as a City of Detroit retiree, I'm a president of a group, and there's too many lawsuits. We are paying for too much that we shouldn't be paying for. Have a good day.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Our
next speaker?
Our next speaker will be Avery Bolt.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Can I be heard?
Yes, you may.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to speak. I wanted to thank the Commissioner Camille for making light of the memos that were presented by Council Member Santiago Romero, and I want to urge the fellow commissioners and also Chief of Police to take these matters very seriously, to take the content of the memos very seriously, and I urge the commissioners to expect nothing less than full transparency from DPD when in regards to these questions and these lines of investigation. I think it's very concerning that the lack of transparency that has been going on between DPD's potential interactions with ICE and their aiding and abetting of ICE activities. I myself have seen the video that was referred to earlier by other public commenters, and while the video does not show the face of the police officer, it very clearly shows that the person that recorded the video is standing next to a Detroit police vehicle. So I know the chief mentioned that some people are trying to impersonate police officers. I find it hard to believe that someone could also take a police vehicle and without the police knowing that. And I hope that there is a thorough investigation of that video and the contents of it are taken seriously. There are people on the ground every single day in the Migra Watch, in the communities, monitoring ICE activity, and they are collecting evidence that the members of the police are aiding and abetting ICE. And I would like to see that come to light. Thank you for your time.
Power Brown.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner, go ahead.
Yeah, I was still reflecting on the comments that were made by former Commissioner William Davis. I have been receiving a lot of calls and a lot of feedback from a lot of youth on the east side of Detroit that have been experiencing those shakedowns. They're going into gas stations to make purchases. They're going to the store about their business, and there is a problem that exists. We have young men with dreads, tattoos, and whatnot that are saying that they believe that they are being profiled. I'm seeing that a lot. So there's what we see complaints, but there's a lot of things that are happening that complaints aren't being made. And it's very hard to get youth to come into a police headquarters to make a complaint about a police officer. So what I am working to do, which I'm paying out of my own pocket, to make flyers about what we do, because we need more awareness in these communities. Make flyers informing the youth what we do, put our contact information on there. We need to have our advertisements in the grocery stores, the liquor stores, the gas stations. We need to do a better job putting our material out here so that people know who we are, they know who's representing them in their district, and so that their voices can be heard. Everyone's not coming to speak at this meeting, but people are experiencing shakedowns from what I've been told, so their voices can be heard. They need to be held accountable. We need to call it out, and in order to build that trust between law enforcement and the people of the community. We need transparency. We have to be honest about issues that are taking place and not being so quick to jazz things up. Call it for what it is. This is a lot of injustices that are taking place with the youth. I speak with them all the time. I applaud the chief. That is why I'm in support of the chief in his next term. I applaud the chief. He's doing a phenomenal job. The higher-ups are doing a phenomenal job. But there are things that are taking place in the inner city with the officers that are in patrol. I am a resident of the 9th Precinct, and I deal with a lot of youth in the 9th Precinct because I mentor them. And I'm telling you a problem that is existing. And these things aren't always caught on camera because a lot of times officers aren't turning their body cameras on, or they have a delay in turning them on, or they're turning them off too early. Accountability needs to take place. The people elected us to represent them. We do not represent the police department. We do not defend the police department. That is why the officers have a union representative, which a union representative made a comment against me because I'm doing my job. When before he made his comment, I went up to him to shake his hand to try to get some dialogue and discussion. A commissioner here, he asked me about it. He said, why did he disrespect you like that and give you the cold shoulder? See, and he's the union to represent these people. He's not trying to build a bridge. And if this is the union who represent them and he's not trying to build a bridge, how can we expect the officers on the street to try to build a bridge? Accountability needs to take place. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none. Next speaker.
We're going to go back to Ms. Tara Brown, and then we'll go try that Zoom user. Ms. Brown?
Good afternoon, Commission. I totally agree with what was just said by the Commissioner, and I do apologize. I think it's Williams, but if I didn't say his name correct.
Morris.
Yeah, I apologize. My concern is I had come into some information, and surprisingly, 2 of the people that I knew had it, and I asked them about it, and they pretended that they had no idea. However, I see from this paper, this newspaper article, they spoke very freely with the Detroit News. Again, I am sure that Ms. Peterson Mayberry is a nice woman. I don't think anybody deserves $80,000 for 25 hours of work. I don't care if she doesn't receive benefits. I don't care if it equates to $62,000 an hour or $62,000 annually. When there are police officers on the street not getting raises, when there are people working 40 hours for the city of Detroit and not getting raises, when Michael's mom is standing up talking about the missing person staff only had 2 people, no reason to be paying anyone $80,000 for 25 hours of work. And I don't give a damn how many people you all send up from off this commission who have no credibility other than this hand to say that they approve it and this is a good idea. It's absolutely not a good idea. And this tells me the level of respect that the people in charge have for the city, because you had to have known paying anybody $80,000 for 25 hours of work would outrage the public, particularly in a city that is so money hungry. People's water is getting turned off, their taxes are getting escalated and they losing their house. Homeless people are sitting in front of the shelter. We are a mess. Regardless of how things are being painted, crime is down. Yeah, crime is down allegedly, but Los Angeles has twice as many people as we have, and they're only a few numbers higher than we are. Do better, y'all.
Next speaker, please.
We're going to go back to Zoom user. Zoom user.
Chair. Through the chair.
Yes, Commissioner. Who? Madam Parliamentarian.
No.
Commissioner Bowman.
Commissioner Bowman.
Yeah.
I thought she had a question or comment.
I didn't want to interrupt.
No, okay.
Okay.
Commissioner Bowman.
Yeah, this is the second time I think I've heard during this meeting in comments about this matter, and I had previously read about it, and I've seen commissioners comment on it. I don't know exactly who's, I believe it would probably be the personnel people who hire people and set the standards, but I don't know what the standards are for that position and what is expected of the person working part-time at 25 hours a week, earning $80,000, who I believe also is a county commissioner. I don't know what they do to vet that work to that it be considered of that value, and it would be interesting to find out. I don't know what role the Board of Police Commissioners really has, other than we do pass a budget, and we should be aware of how the money is spent that's going through that budget.
You're correct. We do. Excuse me. Will you let me answer?
Control your staff.
Just please not talk. Not talk for a minute. We do approve the budget. We do review categories of employees, different categories. We don't particularly look at individual employees. There are thousands. Now, if the chief would like to respond, he did respond in the news article, if you read it today.
Oh, no, I hadn't.
Okay, so I would like to ask him if he could say even more. But in terms of what the board is responsible for, yes, we approve the budget, but not each individual employee. So go ahead,
Yep,
Chief.
and through the chair, I'm more than happy to be able to respond because I made the decision to hire Angelique Peterson Mayberry. She comes highly qualified. She sat on the Detroit School Board of Education for over 8 years, and she held the position of president. She also held the position of vice president. With the work that our Detroit police officers do in schools, whether it's our city camp program, whether it's our brotherhood and sisterhood program, and they're working very, very closely, that was an opportunity for me to have an expert to be able to help navigate that landscape, and with the programming that we have, to be able to overlook the curriculum as well. Our most precious assets are our youth, and I want to make sure that I have somebody over there to make sure that our youth programming is excellent. If I could have hired her full-time, I would have hired her full-time. The issue was she accepted a position with, Wayne County Commission.
County.
She's an expert. They wanted her, they was sought after as well, but I did not want to lose that opportunity. You can't work 2 full-time jobs, but you can work 2 part-time jobs. And so I believe in paying people what they're worth. I believe in seeking out the best talent, and I don't think it's anybody that has her credentials, and I don't know of any other individuals out there right now that are that's been on the school board as long as she was. In that relationship between Detroit Public Schools and the Detroit Police Department, especially with the uptick in youth violence that I had over the summer and the programming that we're going to be putting forth, that's going to help ensure that our children in the city of Detroit have a safer summer. I have PAL programs that's working with the schools as well, but I want to make sure that I'm avoiding risk. And if I can save and inspire anybody that's young to not fall victim to violence this year, and if I can save one, we've already looked at the various studies that one life lost costs taxpayers over $1 million. So one save will pay for her a whole lot, time and time again. But I stand by my decision to hire her, and I do believe in paying people what they're worth, and I believe she's worth every dime.
Thank you. Commissioner Bowman.
Oh. Yeah, I wasn't questioning the qualifications of this employee. My question really was directed toward process. Is there if you're working 25 hours and getting that much money, what kind of deliverables are expected for that? And is there what the review process is for that position in general regarding that?
Through the chair, Commissioner Bowman, I definitely sat down with the HR director, and I also sat down with Nevers Nazarko before we made that offer to ensure that it was in alignment. And we can give you a copy of her written, her deliverables, et cetera. But I'll make that available to you.
Thank you.
Yep. And through the
Commissioner
chair.
Woods?
And that information will be confidential because it would be a personnel situation.
And it would have to go into closed session if we discuss it.
Yeah, yes.
Commissioner
She
Camille?
requested.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So since we're on this topic, one of the things I just want to share with the other commissioners is we're in the budget review process right now. So this is a great opportunity to take a look at the different categories of positions in DPD and look, even though we don't have names, we have each line item of each position. And we can take that and see if there are any anomalies in positions and ask those questions about those salaries. In addition, I asked and I sent over to the fiscal manager asking for details for the task workers because those are very generic titles in the city of Detroit.
Could you explain tasks just for the public?
Temporary,
Temporary
administrative,
workers,
special service
Staff, yes,
staff?
yes.
Okay, I think I got that. And so, and there's a few different categories of those, but I also asked for a description for each of the ones that are in DPD so that we can understand what they do and do any type of comparison when it comes to the salary as well. Also on this topic, through the chair, if I could just ask Council Mallett, thank you so much for responding that the law department is starting the request for the legal opinion about the appropriateness of the hire. Do you have an idea of the timeline for when we'll get a response, and even if the whole opinion can't be shared with the public, can we provide a response to the public to just settle this once we know?
Through the chair, Commissioner Camille, we expect to have the opinion back to you next week.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any, Commissioner Ivey?
And through the chair, Mr. Malley, can we all get that information?
Oh, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll come to the board. Commissioner Watts?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I just want to put on the record, I had received an email from one of my constituents in my district yesterday on my personal email. Not sure how that was obtained regarding this matter. What I did request the board secretary to do is to follow up with the sender and request that any BOPC matters be forwarded to that email for the inquiry. And I sent everyone an email as well. Once I receive that, then I'll forward it over to Corporation Counsel and HR. It's important that people really use the correct method for me to reach me. I'll answer and I'll respond the best that I can, but make sure you're sending it to the appropriate email, BOPC. You don't have to sneak around and get my private one, but I will not answer on my personal email.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Okay, next speaker, please.
We're going to go to Migra Watch Patroller.
Well, can I say something on the mic since we got 2 minutes? My 2 minutes was interrupted. Ain't no.
Migra
No.
I
Watch
mean, that's freedom of speech.
Controller.
That's the problem. We need the Constitution to be effective.
No.
We got grown men and women in here who don't respect law.
Next speaker.
Hello, can you hear
Yes.
me? Okay, my name is Veronica Rodriguez, and I am a District 6 community member. I'm also a volunteer, and I collaborate with Migra Watch and People's Assembly, along with other organizations, nonprofit, to support our community. For the last year, we've been documenting, and we record to protect our community, and we encourage accountability for ourselves and for the safety of our community. And we are not confused about what we witnessed yesterday. We do have evidence. There's several pictures, videos. The video that our comrade has is audio in a video, but there's many, many more. There's a lot of evidence of the vehicles that were there that belong to DPD. I want for my child to be able to enjoy as a homeowner in our city. I want him to be able to enjoy our community, and that's not happening right now. So I just encourage for there to be an investigation. Why DPD was there for 4 hours. We ended up being there 8 hours. We personally, as a team, had to call the school in the area that has children there that were going to school that morning when we get there at 7:30 in the morning. And the school was not aware that if there was a warrant to be served, they were not aware if there was an operation going on, about half a mile from their school. So I just want us to continue to be safe, and I want for DPD to do their job, which is to serve and protect our community. And these men are not federal officers because they're not properly trained, and I think that's offensive to not only our local police, but real federal agents that take proper training when it comes to weapons that can kill people.
Thank you. Our next speaker, please.
I'm going to go back to Migrant Watch Patroller. Can you unmute?
Hello?
Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Please identify yourself.
My name is Adam. I live in Southwest, and I support the effort coming from our city councilwoman and from Commissioner Camille in seeking to investigate and or limit the cooperation between DPD and ICE. Because of ICE's goon squad tactics, which are obviously on full display in Minnesota, we're now out here patrolling neighborhoods and getting called to investigate suspicious vehicles by scared residents. And we're so, paranoid of anything with tinted windows that we often bump into undercover DPD operations, like people have been talking about. More than once now, we've interrupted DPD operations thinking they were ICE. Sometimes maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Regardless, that should be a concern to the department, if nothing else, right? If ICE knew how to behave as a professional agency, we wouldn't be bumping into each other like this. And I think that departmental leadership needs to take that into serious consideration, before Trump moves his clown show into Detroit, which we know is coming. So whether y'all, actually cooperate with ICE or not, it's an issue that DPD needs to start doing something about administratively. On a separate matter, I'd kind of shy away from this tendency of that, many are now looking at this recently trumpeted statistical plunge in crime that Duggan's been talking about, being the lowest crime rate in 60 years. I don't pretend to follow Detroit crime reporting or stat calculation in any real sense, but I also feel like I kind of know hocus pocus when I see it, especially when it's so perfectly timed to coincide with his run for governor. Mainly, I can't help but be reminded of the one and only time in history that Detroit's crime rate changed this precipitously. Coincidentally, it was 60 years ago. That was when DPD changed to the FBI's new uniform crime report system in 19...
Our next speaker will be Audrey. I can't pronounce your last name, so please state your name for the record. Can you unmute?
Hello, speaker, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for having me speak today.
Please state your name.
My name is Audrey Bourriaud. I am representing an indivisible chapter here in Detroit, which is called We the People Dissent. Today, I would like to urge the commissioners to take very seriously Councilwoman Gabriela Santiago Romero's memo. Thank you very much, Commissioner Camille, for bringing it up today. There is a culture of violence that ICE has brought to the U.S. that is spreading like wildfire, and this is not the culture of DPD. Not to the extent that we see. The DPD is a law enforcement, obviously, but it has principles. It follows guidelines. It's professional. nothing that ICE is. Given the current nature of what ICE has become, its lawlessness, its lack of training, its lack of accountability, I do not see how DPD can continue its collaboration, or even if the collaboration is too strong of a word, even at very least, like the lack of transparency, whether or not there is collaboration between DPD and ICE. I do not see how DPD can continue compromising itself, having no transparency, no certainty that it is distancing itself from the practices of ICE. I urge the commissioners to take very seriously Councilwoman Santiago Romero memo.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Jenny Merrick. Can you unmute yourself?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. Hi, my name is Jennifer Mark, and I wanted to thank you for repeatedly reiterating that DPD does not collaborate with ICE, either officially or unofficially. Detroit needs to be a safe space for everyone who lives or visits the city. Detroit Police has worked so hard over the last many decades to create trust from the public. Shout out to Coleman Young. Please protect everyone in your jurisdiction. So many vulnerable residents as well as visitors are depending on you to keep Detroit safe from the terrible actions of ICE and Border Patrol. And individuals need to also be held accountable too, not just the police force as a whole. I have absolutely zero idea who it was or if they were actually a police officer, but just as an example of folks who probably would be terrible police officers. I saw an SUV on 75 downtown last week that had a Blue Lives Matter bumper sticker, as well as unbelievably a bumper sticker that said, "Bring back stress." I have no idea who that person was, but it's a reminder that there are people out there who would love to see DPD help the racist feds. Detroit has worked too hard, and it's too awesome of a city to cave to ICE. Thank you very, very much for keeping your integrity. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Joanna Oliver.
Hi, my name is Joanna, Black Club President of Littlefield Street. I want to start off by saying I would appreciate if the second precinct would do more. I started this the Black Club President, maybe a little bit over a year ago. Going on 2 years, I have not had no police. We have not. I want to say I have not had any police support over in the neighborhood. Start going to what Chief said. Protecting the kids, and that's important. And that's very important. I have an 8-year-old now. Thank God he's here to make it. Someone around the corner got into a dispute, and they pulled out their guns instead of fighting or walking away or what have you. They shot, and it came through the back of my house, through my son's bedroom window, through the hallway to the kitchen, and it stopped at the metal door. Thankfully, that door was open and it stopped. No one got in contact with me. I ended up investigating it myself and finding out who did it. I tried to give information to the second precinct. They don't be wanting no type of help from the community whatsoever. I do want to acknowledge Officer Eags, though, community relations. He helps me from the beginning to now. He's very helpful, but he's only one officer. He can only do so much. We have no patrolling. I'm out here shoveling snow, vacant houses. I'm raking the leaves. Me and my husband and my son on our own. I need some help with the police officers to show that we are safe to come out. It's okay. Just help me out a little bit to get the people out, and it will help out a lot more for me and the vacant.
Our next speaker will be Gwendolyn
Through the chair.
Gibson.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, Madam Chair.
Commissioner?
With Littlefield Block Club, 2nd Precinct, that is quite possibly my district. Is it possible for the secretary to track down Ms. Oliver's contact information? I would like to have a conversation with her. Thank you.
Yes. Thank
Through the
you.
chair.
Commissioner Ivey?
Also, I'm going to hub over, Commissioner, I think that's part of my precinct as well.
Might be.
Yeah, so.
So we'll figure it out and.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you both. Next speaker, please.
Ms. Gibson, can you unmute yourself? We'll try the next caller. Minister Eric Blunt. Oh, here you go.
Yes, can you hear me, board?
Yes, we can.
Yes, this is Minister Eric Blunt from Sacred Heart Catholic Church right here in Detroit. If any of you are surprised at DPD's outright support, or if not, a blind eye looking the other way on ICE's recklessness, I'm surprised if you're surprised. All you have to do is look at last week's community meeting in which Chief Bedison had one of the greatest non-committal stances against ICE I think I have ever heard. Even after having examples of the mayor of Chicago and the mayor of Minneapolis. If Mark Young is still in the room, this is but one of 2 instances in which I agree with you. I agree that there should be great concerns about a commissioner who physically threatened a DPD officer, along with another commissioner that changed their name as an adult, only a few years before running as a commissioner. But Mark Young fails to acknowledge the fact that he is a major contributor to DPD police officers not being accountable. The 2022 union contract does not hold any officer accountable for virtually anything. That contract specifically says that an officer's misconduct cannot be used in determining their promotion. There is no other profession, I think, in the world that would allow that. The death at the Detroit Detention Center was easily estimatable. My physical and actual personal tour of that facility gave me grave concerns. One is that they do not allow someone to be physically looking at the bullpen in which
Ms. Gibson, can you unmute? Ms. Gibson. We'll go on to PSL Detroit.
Good afternoon. Can I be heard?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. My name is Lauren Branch, and I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation and the Detroit People's Assembly. I'm a resident in District 7. I'm also here to speak on ICE and DPD. And so we've heard about yesterday's incident, and we said we want to talk about facts, right? So let's jump back to June 30th of last year when Marcos Fabian Arisa Batista was detained by ICE and Border Patrol on Joy Road in Livernois. I was there that day on the ground, and when I arrived on the scene, it was DPD vehicles that had his street blocked off. And this was a part of hours of his house being surrounded with children inside by Border Patrol and ICE. It was DPD that arrested multiple of our people, including a minor, when we were just there as concerned neighbors. It was DPD that assaulted our people and pepper sprayed several of us. And there is viral video of this on several social media pages and Detroit news outlets. And so I ask, if none of this is collaboration, what does non-collaboration really mean? And that is a very real question for Chief Bedison or anyone else, because at the very least, this is aiding and abetting. And so we demand answers to the questions raised here today. We demand answers to the questions raised by Councilperson Santiago Romero's memo. And last but not least, we've acknowledged that there's other issues going on in the city, right? We know that ICE's racist terror campaign is never restricted to the immigrant community wherever they are. And so this is another issue facing our city. We pay your salary. You're supposed to protect us. Do everything in your power to get ICE out of our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Gwendolyn Gibson, are you able to speak now?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
can
we
you all
can.
hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. I thank all of you. I am here. I have issued a complaint. I am a resident of the 7th District, and I am calling to complain on the 6th Precinct Officer Kevin Bryant, badge number 673, I believe. I believe right now he is suspended with like no pay, but like health insurance, medical insurance. But anyway, so yeah, Officer Kevin Bryant, Officer Tim Nassar, and Lieutenant Tim Barr. They kicked in my door last year. This was April 25th of 2025. It was really under a false arrest. They falsely arrested my son and I. We had to go through court and fight a CCW case. We beat the case. This was October 29th. The officers completely lied. I've called and spoken with several different detectives and officers, but I mean, I've gotten nowhere with it. But yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. They kicked in my door. They found a weapon, which I've purchased several firearms over the years. I've lived in that same house for on and off since for 15 years. 2010, my late ex-husband and I, we bought the home. And my son and I, we've been living there on and off for 15 years. But yeah, this is what they did. They kicked in my door, no warrant. I still haven't seen a warrant. And then they just pretty much put a gun on my son. They said they were going to charge me with it, but they ended up just charging my son with it. And I do have the audio of that. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of coming to complain about, because they are corrupt. They were totally wrong. I have PTSD from this situation. I had to move from that home because they were harassing us after that. And during the trial and everything, once Officer Bryant was charged or let go with pay, this is what they've been doing. I know I only have a few seconds, but I'll be back up the next board too, because I'm not done.
Thank you. Do we have a complaint, OC? I have a complaint, please.
We do have a complaint.
Okay, and it's in process?
Yeah, we will get back with her tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Next speaker, please.
Our next speaker is Mickey. Please state your name for the record.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Monique Donahue. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I'll start by saying I'm terrified of public speaking. I'm concerned about the increasing violence and aggression we are seeing around our nation at the hands of ICE agents. It is strikingly clear these agents are inadequately trained. Instead of the normal 6 months, they are getting 47 days, and that's 47 in honor of our 47th president. Hiring practices, no background checks, criminal backgrounds, no problem. January 6ers are being hired, and we also have people impersonating ICE agents. They are nothing but violent bullies. They are putting all of us at risk. How do DPD officers feel standing next to armed, inadequately trained ICE agents? I'm terrified because we are all just government-sanctioned collateral damage. Who will be Detroit's next Keith Taylor or Renee Good? On top of that, I fear how quickly and vindictively our government is changing immigration rules. A snap of Trump's fingers and anyone can suddenly find their citizenship revoked. I ask that ICE agents be kept off city property, schools, in general, and that DPD not collaborate with ICE. We, the people, dissent. Power to the people. Peace.
Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Molly. Please state your name for the record.
I'm sorry, before the next speaker, we do have one commissioner that wants to comment.
Yeah,
Commissioner Bowman.
What I heard, some of the comments from this speaker, I've heard from other speakers, and I've heard before the meeting from other people. And I'm just wondering, if the chief is aware of circumstances where DPD officers have, I know you've already said that they don't work with ICE or collaborate with ICE, where they are next to ICE agents and walking with ICE agents while the ICE agents are carrying out their activities?
No, I'm not. I'm just not. And so that's why I'm asking for video, other things of that nature, because we're focused on local laws and ordinances. I will tell you that there have been times with my mental health co-response officers, because they wear green and their uniforms are somewhat different, people have confused them as being Border Patrol. And if you're familiar with mental health co-response, ensuring that the blue uniform didn't trigger persons who are in mental crisis, we decided to go with the uniform with tan pants and the green shirt. And even the strobe lights, when they show up at the scene, we can switch it so that it's not the red and blue that would trigger and cause somebody to go in a mental crisis. And so we have green strobe lights. And so that could be causing a situation as well where I have got reports that ICE is at a recreation center and that they're swooping up people, but it was the staff who had someone in mental crisis and called DPD, and we sent our mental health co-response officers there, and everybody in the rec center thought that it was ICE to take him away. But in that situation, it was our mental health co-response. So, as far as being able to educate the community as to what the DPD uniform looks like, and even also confusing as well, is many security officers, civilian security guards who want to look like DPD and will have their security uniform looking almost like it's our special operations officers, et cetera. So we got a lot of work to do, but I encourage anybody that if you have video, you have proof. We all got cell phones. Provide that to us. We got body cameras. We got in-car video. It's green light, it's footage everywhere. And so you get that to us, you have my pledge that we will investigate it. And if anybody violating our policies, procedures, et cetera, we would hold them accountable.
Can I follow up?
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, the other matter that came up in the same context here is I've heard people say that they want to be protected from ICE. And I've looked at the policy manual. I haven't, and maybe I missed something here. I don't remember all of it. But is there anything, and anyone, I'm open to hearing from anybody, aware of anything currently in our policy that would oblige officers to take specific action if they saw someone from another jurisdiction, such as the federal government, violating a person's constitutional rights under color of law?
Policies are for
Corporation Counsel.
anybody.
Corporation Counsel Mallet.
Said anybody. All policies are for them. You have to.
Will you allow us to conduct our meeting, please? Corporation Counsel?
Through the chair, Commissioner Bowman, the City of Detroit police officers do not have jurisdiction over federal government law enforcement officers. If ICE is doing their job according to whatever policy and procedures that they have in place, the Detroit Police Department has no ability, quote, to interfere with ICE carrying out its lawful activities. So this is really, in terms of offering protection to the community from ICE, the Detroit Police Department is powerless, other than to be sure that if they see wrong being done in conjunction with the ICE activity, we may be called, in fact, for crowd control, as we were when President Trump was here, but we are not allowed to or authorized to interfere with the federal government's execution of their duties and responsibilities. There's just no way for us to, quote, to protect someone from the lawful activity that ICE is engaged in. And if it turns out that the activity of ICE was unlawful, then there's going to be civil remedies. But it's not possible for the city of Detroit to interfere with the execution of ICE's responsibility as it's pursuant to federal law.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Commissioner. Wait, Commissioner Bowman, were you
I said
done?
thank you, but I also noticed Henrietta Ivy had her hand up.
Okay, Commissioner
chair.
Ivy and then Commissioner Camille.
Through the chair, Council, is there a way that we can get a breakdown of the federal laws that ICE have, just so we can have a visual of what they're actually doing? I know we can't interfere with their actions when they have been given, I guess, warrants to go get people, but is there some type of policy that we can put in place to say, well, before you come to this city, we need to see what you're coming here to do? We won't interfere, but we need some type of evidence that you are lawfully here on a lawful matter and not just entering in and just grabbing folks off the street. Because I think it would be more safer if we had something written, although it's a separate entity, that it says, okay, you come to get X, Y, Z. If we can see those warrants, you can proceed. But to just say we won't leave it alone, it opens up the floodgate for these people to come in just snatching people. And then it's also put in place that federal law is you can't interfere with us because we're here to do what we want to do. So I think that maybe we need to redo some policies and then ask for some evidence that they're actually coming to get the people they're supposed to come and get and not just snatching our people out of the communities. I think that would be helpful.
Commissioner, through the chair, you really do exactly explain the confusion that exists in the community. Let me give you an example. Right there on the corner of Woodward and West Grand Boulevard, where the old Lely's used to be, you see that veterans house that got built there? I must have written 5 letters to the federal government asking them not to build on that site. And the federal government responded, you, the city of Detroit, have no jurisdiction over where we make a decision to place this facility. We bought the land, we're the federal government, we will make the decision. In this particular circumstances, it relates to the enforcement of immigration policy. That is exclusively a federal responsibility. There is no ability for the Detroit Police Department, if you think about it, federal, state, local. We are at the bottom of the pyramid. And so we have no ability to say to the federal government, before you enter this mutually held jurisdiction, you have to show us your valid warrant before you can exercise your federal authority. So, Commissioner, that's just not possible. Now, I can provide you some evidence legally that talks about the hierarchy of enforcement, if that's what you're asking me for, and I'll be glad to do.
I understand the hierarchy. I'm just trying to understand how do we make it safer for our communities through some type of policy. Although I understand federal supersedes local, but in a sense where they just walking in doing this, now they're coming in doing on federal business, say drug charges, and they have warrants. They have legal warrants. I understand that, but we're talking about an agency that's being hired by an administration that's really just coming in to take people and to do all this crazy stuff. And I personally do not want to see this happen. I personally want to see some changes happen somewhere, somehow. Maybe talk to some people, get somebody ears open and say, listen, I get it, y'all have this authority, but this is my city. And there are certain things we're just not going to allow, even on the federal level, because we're talking about people's lives being snatched up, and we're just standing by watching. That's bothersome to me. So I get it and I understand that, but can we somehow put something in place for protection of the citizens?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Commissioner Camille and then Commissioner Bowman.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and appreciate the questions from my colleagues, Commissioner Bowman and Commissioner Ivy, and for pushing these questions, and also appreciate you, Council Mallett, for your responses. Respectfully, we need to continue to push because we're trying to be responsive to our constituents, so please understand that. So if DPD is unable to interfere, can DPD monitor? So what I'm referring to is the extensive network of surveillance that we have throughout the city at this point. Can DPD at least monitor what federal agents, ICE is doing, so that at least there's a good understanding of what's happening, that we can have conversations about, even if DPD cannot hinder their activity?
So through the chair, Commissioner Camille, that's a very, very interesting suggestion. I would say that that's a decision of the political authority in the city of Detroit, starting with the mayor, including the Detroit City Council, perhaps as advised by the Board of Police Commissioners. The police department by itself cannot institute a program of surveillance on the federal government. They have a very specific set of duties and responsibilities, and the surveillance of the federal government is nowhere listed as an appropriate set of activities that they should be engaged in. I understand, Commissioner, where you're coming from. There's a resolution I think that you're putting forward today that voices some of your concerns, but I really do think that the police department responds, yes, indeed, to the oversight authority of the Board of Police Commissioners, but it is also under the direct command and control of the mayor of the city of Detroit, who she is responsible for the direct enforcement by charter of the laws of the state of Michigan and the Detroit City Ordinance. That would require profound political judgment and authority exercised first by the mayor in consultation with City Council and the Board of Police Commissioners.
Thank you. Commissioner Bowman.
Yeah, something remarkable in at least one interpretation of what the Corporation Council has put before us, and I just want to make sure I can distinguish this clearly, because I am clear on that, and even beforehand I'd be clear on that if a federal officer is carrying out lawful duties under federal law, that it would be wrong to, legally wrong, for the other jurisdictions to interfere with that lawful carrying out of duties. It seems to me, though, there are some areas of concern as far as how far this hands-off approach goes. For instance, if we don't know that the person is authentically a federal officer, it seems that we would have the right to at least verify that this person is a federal officer. If the person, I don't see, it sounds almost as if there's no other restriction. I mean, a civil penalty or a civil response to unlawful activity by a federal officer could come too late. And I know extreme cases make for bad law, but for hypothetically speaking, of a federal person who appears to be an ICE agent on duty suddenly decides to become an active shooter, is it unlawful for the local law enforcement to stop the active shooter?
No, it's not.
So if the person is then violating other laws less severe than that,
Yeah, I'm sorry, Commissioner, I didn't mean to interrupt. Please go ahead.
Would it also then possibly be appropriate to intervene?
Through the chair, Commissioner Bowman, let me say it to you this way. Let's use the example of a person impersonating a federal ICE officer. Impersonating a police officer of any kind.
I wasn't saying impersonating. Through the chair, I'm sorry.
I thought you said.
No, if a person, all right, there's actually two. Maybe, okay, that's right. The first point was about impersonation.
Okay.
The second one was not. Sorry, I'll stop.
Right, so it's against state law to impersonate an officer of the law. Were the Detroit Police Department to have reasonable belief that a person was in fact impersonating a law enforcement officer, they would be subject to arrest.
And so that would then entitle them to verify that this person was indeed not a federal
They would have to have reasonable cause, Commissioner, to believe that a crime was being committed. the same standard applies. And so if the Detroit police officer sees this person get out of a federal vehicle with all of the various appearances, and there is no reason and no reasonable standard or no reasonable indication that a crime is being committed. Now remember what the standard is. Police officers cannot act in the absence of reasonable probable cause. So the police officer is going to use her judgment to make a decision based on what is reasonable at the time. So again, if it's reasonable for her to conclude that a law is being broken and that this person is not a federal officer but is in fact illegally impersonating, then that officer is entitled by law to react. If her reasonable belief is that this person is in fact who they say they are, then by constitutional law, she should in fact just go about her regular local Detroit police business.
Okay, and then the second example was of through the chair. The second example was of a person who was not impersonating, but was committing a crime that was an imminent threat to people and needed to be stopped. And I gave an extreme example. But
Of an active shooter, and I said yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Or next speaker?
We have three more speakers. Molly.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Molly Menning from Wayne Law. Just really interesting discussion, but I wanted to just quickly echo some of the calls for transparency by other commenters. First, to urge the department to respond to the requests for information in the memo by Councilperson Santiago Romero, and to provide greater transparency related to the concerns raised by her and other commenters. And then second, to encourage the gathering and compiling of information about lawsuits against the city and settlements due to officer misconduct. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
The next speaker was Motorola Razr 2025. Can you unmute?
Hello, speaker?
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. My name is Sandra Turner Handy. I'm the president of the 9th Precinct Community Relations Council, and I am calling because we recently met with Commissioner Morris on Tuesday night, the executive committee along with residents of District 3 concerning what we felt was harassment of our 9th Precinct. And I just wanted to go on record that we did meet with him and we spoke with him. We have worked very hard over here in the 9th Precinct to change our narrative from 4820 die to 4820 live. We have been able, through our residents organizing and becoming committed and invested in the quality of life over here in number 9, aligning with our 9th Precinct leadership, officers, and MPOs to bring down crime in our community. The gentleman said it's hocus pocus, come to number 9. It's not hocus pocus. Our residents are able now to go out on the streets. They're not afraid. They're working alongside our police officers so that we can raise our quality of life and create a clean, safe, and healthy community over here. When I get a flyer, because I am not a Facebook person, when I get a flyer that says to get rid of our commander, I am appalled because nobody spoke to our residents. As a police commissioner, your job is to carry our voices of concerns with DPD, not create your own. And nobody came to us and asked us what's going on. And the chief will tell you, I am a strong advocate for residents. When the DPD does something wrong, I am on top of it. When they're right, I support them. And I support
our last speaker is Miss C. Gina Brown Anderson. Can you unmute Miss Anderson?
Good
evening. Can I be heard?
Yes.
I just have a few questions. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I call for a variety of issues, but it seems like you need a whole meeting just for ICE issues. I wanted to know if we are contacted. Maybe Comrade Malik can answer this question. Is any part of our local government, governor, mayor, chief, anybody contacted prior to ISIS invading?
Through the chair,
Go ahead.
Chief Edison can speak to this better than me. I know that there is constant communication between the Detroit Police Department and our state and federal partners. Again, the Detroit Police Department is not made aware of ICE activity as it's being conducted on a day-to-day basis. Generally, and Chief, I know I'm stepping all over your conversation, but generally, when the task force or when the joint groups come together, conversations are had about how cooperation can be better fostered. I am positive that during these joint meetings, citizen concerns from the city of Detroit, particularly from District 6, are conveyed to our federal and state partners, but there is no requirement, and there is, frankly, on behalf of the municipal government, I'm not speaking for the police department, no expectation that there would be prior notice provided of whatever federal law enforcement activity was going to be engaged in, unless, and this is on the criminal enforcement side, unless DPD was going to be a part, Chief, of the operation. And let me step back, because I'm sliding very close to an area that I'm not expert in.
Chief, go ahead.
Through the chair, in response to that question, I do have full confidence that if a surge were coming, I believe that they would reach out to me and let me know. And when I say of a surge, which we have not seen in the city of Detroit, we have not seen in the state of Michigan, where they're sending ICE agents and other agents from out of state to the state of Michigan to the city of Detroit to surge and do increased enforcement like we've seen in some other cities. So, but I do believe I would be notified of that. And as of this point, I have not received any notification of any such plans.
Can I continue?
Thank you. Is there another speaker?
Yes, you got to continue.
Oh, yes.
No, I didn't finish though.
Go ahead.
So, Conrad, you said that no matter what, these federal agencies are going to do what they want because ISIS has their own policies. I hear everyone saying no to ISIS. If we have no control, we have no authority, which is clear, they can come in and do what they want to. I think we need to change the narrative then, because it is a good resolution to make sure, instead of like last week, Bedison, that you said you don't get involved in it, that in order to keep our own citizens safe, that you come up with some type of policies to work with these guys so that we don't feel like we're being invaded. It feels like it's a war and they're coming in taking over. We are in Ukraine and Russia. So something needs to be done, because the people that they're looking for are not the only ones affected. I am concerned that I have things going on in my community, but don't want to call because don't want to have anybody wrong harm against, because you don't know how they're going to approach these people. We have people changing license plates, putting them on different vans. If we take a picture, they think we're looking for them. They change the plates. We're noticing all of this, and we don't even know if it's human trafficking going on, because so many other concerns are on the table that we can't even police our own neighborhoods properly because of this issue. We really need some type of...
That is our last caller.
Okay, thank you. I guess the theme of today's meeting is very, very apparent, and a lot of the public is asking for I don't know, some action, some policy, or at least to look at how we can deal with it. And I really admire that they're asking in advance before something terrible happens. So, Chief, I think we need to continue talking about these issues that were brought up today.
Yep, and through the chair, I just, really commend our Detroit community for, being so involved. That's what makes us special as a city. So I commend each and every caller and everybody who spoke on the topic. And as requested, City Council Member Santiago Romero, I will ensure that I get her questions answered. And like I stated in the beginning with Commissioner Camille, this board will get a copy, the same copy that she gets as well, so that your constituents, the folks that are watching, will, be updated.
Thank you, Chief. Commissioner
Chair, if I
Woods?
could,
Hold 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Corporation Counsel.
Oftentimes in the last couple of weeks, Chief Bedison has also pointed out that it is the professionalism of the Detroit Police Department and the crime statistics that that organization has been able to produce that has largely kept us away from having the kind of confusion and entanglement with the federal government that other communities are experiencing. And so, Madam Chair, I would just point out that it is not accidental that for all of the angst that is real associated with ICE activity in the city of Detroit, we are not Chicago, we are not New York, we are not Los Angeles, we are not Minneapolis. And that really has to do with the leadership provided by Todd Bedison and the other men and women that he works with on his executive team, and the overall professionalism of the Detroit Police Department as it translates into the crime statistics that we have celebrated over these last couple of weeks. So I just point that out, that for all of the communities concerned, which the chief believes is 1,000% legitimate. I know that the administration of Mayor Sheffield sympathizes and absolutely shares the concern, as does the law department. But at the same time, there are limitations. But the chief reason that we have not been a point of focus of the federal government has been the work done by DPD.
Thank you. We had Commissioner Watts?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes,
And-
I just want to, echo the same, sentiment there. I want to also remind us that we still should push on our federal lawmakers, who's governed. We know that this current administration in Washington is really not listening to a lot, but pressure our local lawmakers, our federal partners, to send our sentiment that we want the same type of communication and coordination for our residents as the same as when the president comes to town and he wants to safely be driven down I-94. And he does advance notice for that. So I urge all of our commissioners and our citizens too to keep pressuring our congressional and our Senate to put the pressure on the president who's giving these illegal orders where there's no communication with law enforcement, local law enforcement, So, we want the same. This week, I'm sure he sent his people here. He went to safely come down 94. He went to safely have coordination. He's no better than any citizen here in the state of Michigan and across this country.
Right.
And we need to not just say, we know Chief Bedison and the laws here, he's limited. But that doesn't stop us from still raising our voice collectively to our congresspeople in Michigan and our senators, who we elect all the time too. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any others? Commissioner Woods, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to,
Before you make the motion, was that our last speaker? Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to move the DPD budget report and the human resource report to next week.
Motion to postpone, Commissioner?
Motion postpone.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Is there a second? A motion has been made. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second? Okay. Commissioner Carter, second the motion that Commissioner Woods made to postpone both the DPD budget report presentation and the Human Resources Bureau presentation to next week. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And now we'll have a report from our board secretary.
Madam Chair, through the chair, board members, if you will note under tab 6, the weekly reports, facial recognition, and shot spotter. Weekly reports are placed there. The announcements of upcoming meetings are as follows. On Thursday, January 22nd, next Thursday at 3 p.m., here at Public Safety Headquarters will be the next full board meeting. In February, the community meeting will be held Thursday, February 12th at 6:30 p.m. The location will be in the 11th precinct. The specific location has not been finalized, but will be posted as soon as we get a final confirmation, we hope by close of tomorrow. Also, we have a committee meeting upcoming, which is Tuesday, January 20th at 3 p.m. Personnel and Training Committee meeting in the Woodward Room here at Public Safety Headquarters. And also just to remind everyone that Monday is a city holiday. And the BOPC offices will be not physically staffed in person. I think that concludes the announcements. There are a couple of items in your for information packet, which are found in your binders on the left side for your review. Also, you would have received for item 8B that has been reviewed as the assignment was to Commissioner Camille, Corporation Counsel Mallett, and the administrative team for that specific statement to be presented, that you were given copies moments ago. And that ends the report, Madam Chair.
Just to reiterate about the committee meetings, if you haven't submitted your requests for which committees you want to sit on, by next week, I'm going to start making appointments. So we have a few of the members who have submitted. Please submit them to the secretary so that we can keep track. We only need 3 members, no more than 3 members on each committee. Am I correct, Secretary?
Yes, Madam Chair, which will be the chair and 2 other commissioners.
So, please submit what you are interested in, and we'll do our very best to place you on those committees. Commissioner Ivey?
Thank you, Chair. I submitted, but is there a form that I have to submit?
No, just an email to the Madam Secretary. That's it. We'll be fine. Commissioner Bowen?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask the Secretary quickly. In our emails, because I know where to find it in the binder. In the emails, which folder would I find the facial recognition and shot spotter stats? Because I've been looking at these PDFs and I haven't been able to find that one.
Commissioner Bowman, on last week, the office from DPD, there were technical issues. So this week as well, they were delayed. They came in literally moments before, but we have a very cooperative, collaborative relationship with DPD, of course, and so they are in your binders. Normally, they would have been in Tuesday's electronic packet and the updated packet that went out after 12 noon today, as we were awaiting them. But the commander sent them to us, and they are now physically in your binder and should be in the electronic packet after this meeting.
And they're under tab 9, Commissioner.
Under tab, they should be under, are they under 9? They should be under 6.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The shot spotter and
Yes,
facial
I'm sorry,
recognition.
6. I was looking at it upside down. Yes, 6. Okay. Anything else, Secretary? Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, then under unfinished business,
Corporate counsel?
No, I wait for unfinished. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. Under unfinished business, we were going to have a discussion on the reports for the lawsuits filed. If you could give us just a very brief overview, or were you going to do that?
I can do that, Madam Chair.
Okay, just,
Yeah, so Madam Chair, I
was
have
it
not given
council that was going to do it?
I haven't
Okay, I'm sorry.
given the form to Commissioner Camille, but we do have it. And in fact, I have it for all of the members of the Board of Police Commissioners. This probably, Madam Chair, requires a more substantial conversation,
Okay.
which we might continue next week, recognizing the hour, but I'll pass out the form. Commissioner Camille, runs a tight ship, and I want to make sure that I'm responding appropriately to her requests.
Okay.
And in this case, we've done so.
All right, so that'll conclude that report, that item. Thank you. And then under new business, we have a statement for the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners in response to the killing of Renee Good of Minneapolis, Minnesota by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This is something that we spoke about last meeting. We said that you would be working with the secretary to put together a resolution. So will you be giving just an overview of that, or, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So there was a motion last week for the board to issue a statement regarding the killing of Renee Good. And so I did work along with the secretary, and I understand some drafts went by Corporation Counsel as well as yourself.
To be honest, I just saw this just before the meeting.
Okay.
And I don't know if Corporation Counsel had a chance. Did you, Corporation Counsel, have a chance to look at the resolution?
I just saw it this afternoon, Madam
Same here.
Chairperson. I'm not, I think that based on my review during the course of this meeting here, that it would be more than appropriate for the board to take it up if you were satisfied with the contents.
Okay, I'm fine with it. I just wanted to make sure Corporation Counsel was as well.
Absolutely. Thank you
Okay.
for getting that clarification, Madam Chair. And so if, Madam Chair, would you like me to read it, and then we're making a motion to, and it's, just to be clear, this is not a resolution, it's a statement, just a public statement from the board in regards to this killing. Should I proceed with reading it then?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So this is the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners' response to the killing of Renee Good of Minneapolis by ICE. Detroiters have a long and proud tradition of civic engagement. Through rallies, marches, sit-ins, legal observation, protests, public comment, art, education, and leafleting, residents have long participated in shaping our shared civic life. While we may not always agree with one another, we affirm that everyone is guaranteed constitutional rights to religion, speech, press, peaceful assembly, and petitioning their government. These freedoms are central to the values we hold as Americans. When actions by law enforcement threaten the protection of these fundamental liberties, it can be deeply unsettling for individuals and communities alike. Those engaged in advocacy at many levels are reminded that such threats put the safety of all of us at risk. Incidents that call these protections into question can have far-reaching impacts, including physical and emotional harm, fear, and distress, not only by those directly involved, but also for their families, communities, and others who are affected by learning of such events. We acknowledge that practices and approaches within the greater law enforcement community are often shared across agencies. While the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners Charter mandated authority is limited to oversight of the Detroit Police Department, our broader concern is the safety and well-being of Detroit residents in all interactions with law enforcement, regardless of agency, which I think we've demonstrated with all the discussion today. We strongly denounce the use of law enforcement to undermine dissent or to limit First Amendment activity. Accordingly, we remain committed to ongoing review of policies, departmental conduct, and community complaints to address concerns promptly and responsibly when they arise. We will continue to explore all lawful and constructive avenues available to us to help ensure that residents are protected and that constitutional rights are upheld within the city of Detroit. We respectfully urge Mayor Mary Sheffield and the Detroit City Council to affirm that federal law enforcement agencies engaging with Detroit residents do so in a manner consistent with the policies and procedures that govern local law enforcement. Finally, we respectfully urge city, county, and state prosecutors to establish clear processes of accountability when any individual employed by or contracted with the federal government violates the rights or safety of Detroit residents. Madam Chair, I move for adoption.
The motion that's been made by Commissioner Camille, and who was seconded?
I was.
Commissioner Bowman seconded the motion. Is there any discussion?
I just got it.
I'm sorry?
No, it's
Okay.
I just got it.
Yep, I would just say in the future.
Go ahead, Commissioner
can we
Woods.
make sure that when we make an adoption of a statement, that we get it a little bit more earlier than just at the meeting, because we didn't get a chance to peruse this. We didn't get a chance to look at it or even offer any insights of our own, being that this is a statement from the Board of Police Commission. It is not an individual statement. And so it behooves folks to make sure that we have an opportunity to review it at a much more, earlier time.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Madam Parliamentarian.
the commissioner can certainly make the motion to postpone this matter to next week. If the commissioner feels that more time might be needed, of course, it's a motion that have to be adopted. But the parliamentarian would not want the commissioner to feel that there are no other options except to.
Well, I appreciate that, but I don't see no impediment for approval, for my support behind it. I wouldn't want to make that motion, but I'm just saying that in the future, make sure that this stuff is before us much earlier.
And thank you for that, so that we have that, know that we have that option.
Yes.
That's important for the commissioners. Thank you. Hearing any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your attendance.